welcome back to another VEDA. Today is August, I don't know, I think it's the 8th? August 8th. And today's VEDA is going to be Netflix recommendations and reviews. So, as you guys know, I am based in Osaka, Japan, which means that the Netflix that I use is Japanese Netflix. Unfortunately, I don't really watch that many Japanese movies or TV shows on Netflix. I watch a few here and there. The main reason I don't watch them so much is because they don't usually have English subtitles, and I don't like feeling like I'm missing some parts of the story, which is how I get when I watch it just in Japanese. I feel better if there are Japanese subtitles, because then I just feel like I'm not missing everything. But when it's just listening in Japanese, it's really hard for me to stay focused. Sometimes I just, start thinking about other stuff in English and then it's all kaput. But I'm going to try to give you a, I don't want to say thorough, but a pretty broad list of recommendations that I have for Netflix. I don't have Hulu in Japan, and I believe there's another streaming service. There are things like WoW, which is a cable kind of network that offers certain kinds of programming. I used to have cable in Japan, but it was overpriced, and they got rid of all the channels that I was watching like the following year, so I got rid of it. So now I just watch Netflix, and that's it, really. So, my Netflix recommendations for Netflix Japan. I guess I will start with the few Japanese shows that I have watched on Netflix. I don't think any of them are Netflix exclusive. Kuromukuro, which is something I watched a few months ago, I think maybe, but it's a mech animation, so fighting robots. It was airing weekly, like new episodes were airing every week, and halfway through the season, English subtitles popped up. So I'm guessing you can watch it in the States. If you are into fighting robot animation, then I would definitely give Kuromukuro a try. Another series that actually didn't start on Netflix, came out years ago, but I love it to pieces, is Mononoke. Not the Ghibli one, not the Ghibli one. This Mononoke is Japanese horror stories, and I don't remember the animation company that does it, but the style is so good. It's so stylish, and it's about this guy who's called the Kusuriya, which is a medicine dealer, and he just travels around, I believe it's Edo era Japan. He's going around like Japan and basically dispelling these evil spirits that are these ghosts that are killing people or doing bad things. If you live in Japan and you're watching Netflix Japan, there are no English subtitles, and this is old Japanese, not actually old classic Japanese or anything, but quite, the way they speak is quite, it's in the period dialect. So it's not gonna be your normal Japanese conversation level. So I watched it with fan subs already, so I already remember most of the story. I usually put it on when I'm about to go to sleep because I don't have to worry about actually paying attention to it. But I love watching it. I just love watching it. Some other animated recommendations I have. Buddy and Thunderstruck, which I don't believe is a Japanese production, but the Japanese voices on it are hilarious. I don't know what it is about the wacky things they're saying, because I watched it in English first, and then for some reason I was like, I'll watch it in Japanese too, and it was amazing. So if you can, watch Buddy and Thunderstruck with Japanese voices. It's hilarious. Another animated show, Saiki Kusuo no Sai-nan. This was on Netflix. It was released weekly. It did not have English subtitles, but it does have Japanese subs, and it's fairly easy to follow because it's a lot of really like nichijo kaiwa, which is like daily conversation Japanese. Some of the jokes are very fast though, so you gotta pay attention. The last two that I'm going to mention are Token Nambu Hanamaru, which I believe is also available on Amazon Video, Amazon Japan Video, Amazon Prime Video Japan, whatever. It's on there. It's also on Netflix. Last time I checked, there were no English subs, but I haven't checked recently. If you're not familiar with the Token Nambu desktop browser game, it's about a bunch of ancient Japanese swords that become cute guys and hang out in a house. and basically talk to this shadowy room that is supposed to be a signifier of you, and they report to you with their progress on dispelling these evil spirits trying to destroy Japanese history. Yeah, it's really cool. And the last one is Kamisama Hajimemashita, which the English title is Kamisama Kiss? I mean, there's a kiss, but I don't know, I don't like that title. It's about a girl who is homeless and goes to an abandoned shrine, and somehow this fox god has to become her like kami or something. I don't know, I watched it about a year ago, so the story is getting fuzzy on me, but it was really cute. Like, I don't watch a lot of high school anime. The high school genre is very played out to me, but I do like stories that involve like shrines and temples and Japanese gods, and this one has like a whole pantheon of gods, and plus the guy that plays the fox god is psychotic looking sometimes, and I find that I just really like the way his voice acting was done. So those are my animation recommendations. Most of them are old, nothing really new. I think the newest thing might be Saiki, Kusuo, and Kuromukuro, but even that's like ages ago in like anime time scales, because we're already on a new season and I have no idea what's out now. But that's just how I roll. I never know what's out right now. I know what was out and I know what I like. That's it. The next recommendations, I mean, these are just things that come from what I like to watch on Netflix. There's not necessarily like rare things that you can't find or anything, but I think these programs are very interesting and entertaining, and if you're looking for something that is interesting and entertaining, I would suggest you check these out. Mostly movies, a couple TV shows. Probably most of these things you've heard of before, starting with Star Trek. I know I got a Star Wars shirt on, but I don't have a Star Trek shirt. I have a Star Trek patch, but not a shirt, and that does make me a little bit sad. Anyway, on Netflix they have basically all of Star Trek, so you can watch all of it. I finished the first generation, which I love. It's the best, hands down the best. If you're gonna watch any Star Trek, just watch the first generation. Just watch all of it and your life is complete. I started watching some of the other ones. It's so, the way the storytelling changes is a bit drastic, so it's a little bit hard for me to want to keep going like I did with the first generation. But it's all entertaining. If you're a sci-fi fan and you just didn't get a chance to watch it, definitely check it all out on Netflix. Another series, Black Mirror. I had a couple British friends introduce this to me before it came out on Netflix, and then after like I feel like almost after they told me, right after they told me about it, Netflix got the rights, got the like streaming rights for it, so I was able to watch it without having to like be sneaky about it. And watch all of Black Mirror if you can. And it is unsettling at times, but it's so great in how it makes you feel unsettled. It's a thriller. It's I don't know how to like genreify it, but it can be a little bit shocking. So if you're not into thriller type, shock type things, maybe not go with that. Maybe go back to Star Trek. The next one is a film. It's called Perfume. I am a big fan of period pieces, which means films set in other time periods. I don't have a specific time period that I like. I just like other time periods other than contemporary. So Perfume, I want to say is set in the 1700s. I don't remember exactly. It's about a guy who is killing women and collecting their scent and making perfumes out of them. So it's a period horror film. Not horror, period thriller? Period mystery thriller, I guess. Anyway, I quite enjoyed. I forget, like a friend recommended to me back when I lived in the States. I think it was my roommate. And I fell in love with it then, and I've shown it to lots of friends since, and they all thought it was a great film. So if you're interested in thriller period pieces, check that out. A nice Japanese period piece, I guess. I don't know, it's a bit anachronistic in some of its presentation, but Sakuran. This is also quite an old Japanese film. I remember getting the DVD when it came out back when I was in college, and importing Japanese DVDs was like a really kind of troublesome, but at the time it was getting easier to do. And I am a big fan actually still of Sheena Ringo, and she'd worked on the soundtrack for Sakuran, so I really wanted to get the movie. And it's a great piece of fictional Japanese It's like a fictional Japanese period piece. It's about a girl who becomes a prostitute and becomes basically the best prostitute. The #1 prostitute. And it's like about her journey and how she works her way up the ranks. It's based off a manga, also called Sakuran, and it's very stylish, and the music is awesome, and the set design is awesome, the costumes are awesome. And I think even though it's this kind of, another film that reminds me of Sakuran is Marie Antoinette, where they have the modern music with the period background, and then at least in Marie Antoinette they try to keep the acting similar to the period. I feel like in Sakuran the acting tends to be a little bit contemporary at times, but it's still a great film if you're interested in checking out some. That one's like a Japanese period romance film. I enjoyed it, and I don't do a lot of romance movies despite my recommendations having a few romances on them. They tend to bore me and put me to sleep, but this one it's pretty entertaining. Check it out. The last recommendation that I have is another Japanese film. I don't know if you can actually watch it in the States or not, because as far as I know, it does not have English subtitles. It's a Japanese film called Nan. It is directed by Akira Kurosawa, very famous guy. Everybody loves his work. And it is a Japanese reimagining of King Lear, Shakespeare's King Lear, all set in, I want to say, during the Tokugawa shogunate. They all have chonmage, so I'm guessing it's like during the Tokugawa shogunate. I don't know what is memorizing all of this information. It's not for me. But it is a Japanese period piece, and it does not have English subtitles. So it's a Japanese reimagining of Shakespeare set in, you know, medieval Japan. So you can imagine that the way they speak is nothing like really modern Japanese. It's very theatrical, and therefore kind of difficult to understand, especially when they get angry and everything just becomes a sound. I can't hear the words. Tried to ask Shota to watch it with me, but it kind of bores him to death. So if you're looking for a challenge, a Japanese film challenge, check out the Japanese version, no English subtitle version of Nan on Netflix. It is quite interesting. So that's it for my film recommendations. As you can tell, I love watching Netflix. I watch at least a movie or some episode of something every day. I'm on Downton Abbey right now and finishing up RuPaul's Drag Race. And then I have a couple other films on my list that I still haven't watched that I need to get to. I could talk all day about watching movies because it's so much fun. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you have recommendations of what I should watch, definitely leave them in the comments below. I am always looking for new TV shows and films to watch. I love the visual medium. It's so good. So definitely leave me a comment with recommendations. I'll give you some more recommendations. We can have a recommendation party. And then I will see you guys in the next VEDA tomorrow. Have a great night. That's about it. Yeah. Bye.